Very nice. A microphone stand, something that I don't like using because most of the time people can't see me behind it. Well, hi, Bill.
Hey, Tom.
How you doing, buddy?
All right, buddy.
How are you?
Long time no see. How you been?
Pretty good.
Family doing good?
Family's doing well. How's your family?
Doing great. Doing great. Kids growing up fast. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
Good.
Yeah.
Did
What's new? Anything new?
Well, did you hear about George?
No.
Yeah,
Why about George?
George passed away last week.
Oh, you're kidding.
He was 103 years old.
103. Holy smokes.
Yeah, he lived a pretty darn good life, let me tell you.
Go, George. Dang.
Yeah, I was reading his obituary. And
yeah.
Just amazing, 103 years old. You know, I was thinking, I read something somewhere, I don't know, maybe I seen it on TV, but there's this thing called reincarnation. Do you know anything about reincarnation?
No, not a blooming thing.
Well, neither do I.
Reincarnation?
I wish I could find somebody close to the age of 103 years old.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Melton, before you leave, come here a second.
He'll know all about reincarnation.
Yeah.
He's got to. He's close.
You need to go to the bathroom? At your age, you should be wearing something.
It depends.
Depends, yeah, that'd be good.
Depends.
Wait, you can go in a few minutes. Well, I mean, you can leave in a few minutes, but hey, Melton, do you know anything about reincarnation?
Reincarnation.
Watch my lips. Do you know anything about reincarnation?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do.
Can you tell us? Can you lighten us up a little bit here?
Well, there's when your life on this world here ends. That's when they wash your neck and comb your hair and they trim your fingernails and they put you in that little padded box all free from life travails. Then you in that box goes in the ground, dug 6 feet underground. And reincarnation starts when you're planted beneath that mound. But soon them clods break down, just like that box, and you inside. Now that's when you're really beginning that transformation ride. But now, soon them clods break down, just like that box, and you inside. And that's when you're really, really beginning your transformation ride. Yeah. But pretty soon, the grass will grow up on your ground, and pretty soon, a little lonely flower can be found. Now just suppose a horse come along, a horse, and graze upon that flower. That stuff that once was you, but now it's your vegetative bower. But now then, that flower that horse done ate, you know, along with other feed, makes muscle and fat and bone. That's all essential to this steed. But some of it he can't use, and it just passes right on through and lands up on the ground in the clumps. That's what it do. Now then, just supposing I Moses by and I looked at this stuff that I have found, that big old clumps of stuff are laying on that ground. Then I wonders and I ponders and I think about life and death and reincarnation and such. That's when I come along concluding, Tom, you ain't changed that much.
Nice hand for Bill. Nice hand for Melton Electoral. I had to really work hard on bringing this next person to the stage. like 20 minutes on the phone. He's probably one of the most talented, one of the finest callers that I've ever came across in my career as a square dance caller. He has been a friend for many, many years. I'm just sad to say that he couldn't make it, so instead I'm bringing Marshall Flippo to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marshall Flippo. You need a hand there, buddy? You all right? Here you go.
Thanks, George. I know most of you. Good people. Some of you. I was talking to Larry Litson the other day. How many of you remember Larry? Working for Lowe's, Lafayette, Indiana. We talk every once in a while. He's doing real well. I told him to come back. We needed him. He said, no, I'm very satisfied at Lowe's. I guess he's doing well because he got an extra week paid vacation, so he's doing pretty well. And of course, his mother and dad live there too, so but we got to talking about our divorces. Not funny, John. He said, Flip, you know, back there when Vicki and I were married, I bought her a pair of breast implants that I loved. Man, I just loved them. Oh, I'm so glad. Rubbed my face in them. Handled them pretty good. Then she left me. I never did give them to her. How many of you ever flew like in an airplane? Quite a few of you. All of you. You know, when you get up I used to get off an airplane and I'd see these people, you know, get off and they go up the jetway and first thing to do is sit down. I wonder what the heck they're sitting down for. Well, now I know, time you get up that damn jetway, usually you're going uphill. And your legs begin to burn. And that's why they were sitting down. And those cards, those courtesy cards, how many of them have passed you by? 2 of them passed me by after I got off the jetway, and I was really wanting to ride one. And they had extra seats, but they didn't stop. And I saw, when I got off, got out of the jetway, I saw 3 or 4 of them parked there, and I thought, well, maybe another one will be coming along. And so I got a bright idea. I thought I'd walk like I naturally walk when nobody's looking. So I started walking like this. My normal walk. Sure enough, one come out and said, sir, would you like a ride? I said, I sure would. So I got on there, and he said, there, sitting there in that cockpit there, in that co-pilot seat. Put my bag in the back. He said, what gate? I said, no gate, I'm just wanting to ride. He said, no gate? I said, no, I got a 3-hour layover. And I like to ride. He said, a 3-hour layover? I said, yeah. He said, you leaving out of this terminal? I said, no. I got to catch that Skycram or whatever it is over to another terminal. So I rode around his route and got back almost where we started. And he said, I'm going to take a break. He said, you can sit here if you want to, but I think probably the security will run you off of this thing, but sit here as long as you can if you want to. And I said, no, I'll walk on. So I got off and boy, and I started walking real good. And I heard him. He drove up to me and he said, you can walk good. What the heck is going on here? And I said, well, can I drive? He said, no, you can't drive. You already fooled me once and you can't drive this thing. I said, I'll sing you a song if you'll let me drive. He said, you ain't gonna drive. But the song I was going to sing him was, we got married last Friday. My girl is right here beside me. Our friends are all gone. I'm here all alone. Side by side. We got madly wed when she got ready for bed. Then her teeth and her hair she placed in a chair. Side by side. One glass eye so shiny, one hearing aid so small. Then she took her leg off, put it in a chair by the wall. Here I am, broken hearted. Most of my girl has departed. I'll sleep in a chair. There's more over there. By side.
Mr. Marshall Flippo.
Song with compliments of Jay and Jody King. Thank you all very much for that song.
Coming to the stage, Hunter Keller, Mike Seastrom, and Pat Carnathan.
Yeah, please. Okay, hold on. Oh, jeez. God, I know how Tom feels. No, not really. In front of the table, you'll probably have to stand up here if you would. Yeah, because you got to be tall. It's so hard to train your monkeys. Right in front of you. There's a lot of pictures. There were $3 pictures, $4 pictures. Wow. That's perfect if you would. And Pat's right there.
Billy's looking.
This is a classic story of the old baseball field with Casey at the bat. Well, you guys don't want to see what I'm looking at right now.
I know that they're staring really hard.
Mike, you need more than a dentist.
Randy, where'd Flip go? Can we borrow those implants that Larry didn't use? Over back. Oh. You don't want to see it, trust me. I trust. Mike and I are pretty close.
Kind of looking kind of funky. Singing the song on your own side.
I'm speechless.
Time passes.
The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville 9 that day. The score stood 4-2 with but one inning left to play. And then, when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons in the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jamie Blake, and the former was a no good and the latter was the fake. So upon that stricken multitude grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey's getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and the men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It knocked upon the mountain, recoiled upon the flat. For Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bats. There was an ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded as he wiped them on his shirt. And then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance gleamed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the lever-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches, black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire, shouted someone from the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. Smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher and once more the spheroid flew, but Casey still ignored it and the umpire said, strike two. Fraud! Fraud, cried the mad thousands, and the echo answered fraud. But one scornful look from Casey and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. His sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Pretend the curtain goes up. Somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout, but there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
Hunter Keller, Mike Seastrom, Van Carnevale.